Every single day, this incredible journey happens inside all of us. It's this amazing process that turns the food on our plates into the very cells that make us, well, us. So in this explainer, we're going to follow a single bite of food on that amazing adventure, step by step. Have you ever really stopped to think about it? You take a bite of, say, an apple. You chew, you swallow, and then what? It kind of disappears, right? Well, it might seem like magic, but it's actually this brilliant biological factory just humming along inside you. So let's pull back the curtain and take a look at the master plan.
Okay, so before we follow that single bite, we need a map, a roadmap, if you will. This whole thing is a perfectly organized 5-stage journey. And once you get these 5 steps, you'll have a whole new appreciation for how your body turns a simple meal into pure energy and, well, life itself.
All right, here we go. It all kicks off with ingestion. That's the easy part, just putting food in your mouth. Then comes the real workhorse, digestion, breaking everything down into tiny pieces. After that, absorption, where all the good stuff gets moved into your bloodstream. Next up is assimilation. That's when your cells actually use those nutrients. And finally, egestion, which is, getting rid of whatever's left over. Ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, egestion. That's the whole shebang. Let's dive in at the very beginning.
All right, welcome to our first stop on the tour, the mouth. And trust me, it is so much more than just the front door. The second that food passes your lips, 2 crucial things start happening at the exact same time. You've got mechanical digestion and chemical digestion kicking off simultaneously. So let's talk about that first action, the physical part. Your teeth are basically a high-tech food processor. They're designed to cut, tear, and grind. And this isn't just about making food small enough to swallow. No. By crushing it up, you're massively increasing the surface area. That gives all the chemical enzymes we're about to meet way more room to get to work.
And it really is like a specialized toolkit in there. You've got your incisors up front for cutting, those sharp canines for tearing, and then the big guns in the back, the premolars and molars for all the heavy-duty chewing and grinding. And here's a wild fact for you. The enamel that coats your teeth, it is the absolute hardest substance in the entire human body. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so while all that grind-in and chewing is going on, your saliva is launching the very first chemical attack. It's got this super important enzyme called salivary amylase. And its job? It immediately starts breaking down complex carbs, starches, into simpler sugars. And it does this in a very specific environment, a pH of about 6.8, right there in your mouth, before you even swallow. Okay, so we've chewed, we've mixed it with saliva, and now we swallow. And this is where the journey gets, well, a lot more intense. We're leaving the relatively chill environment of the mouth and heading down into the stomach. Think of it as a churning, super acidic chemical cauldron.
So how does the food actually get down there? You might think it just falls, right? Thanks to gravity? Nope. It's actively pushed along by this powerful muscular wave called peristalsis. It's like a ripple that forces the food down your esophagus. It's actually so strong you could swallow food while you're hanging upside down. But please don't try that at home.
Once it arrives, the stomach gets to work. Its main job is to be like a biological cement mixer. It just churns and mixes all that food with gastric juice. And this stuff is no joke. It's packed with hydrochloric acid. That acid does 2 things. 1, it kills off any nasty bacteria that might have hitched a ride. And 2, it creates this intensely acidic environment that turns everything into a soupy mixture called chyme.
But that super strong acid has another critical job. It acts like a switch that turns on the stomach's star player, an enzyme called pepsin. Pepsin is an absolute powerhouse, and its specialty is chopping up big, complex protein molecules. This is where protein digestion really gets going, and it can only happen in that unique, highly acidic environment of the stomach.
Okay, from the stomach, our soupy chyme moves into the intestines. And after all that churning and chemical breakdown, we have finally arrived at the climax of our story. This is the payoff. This is where our body gets to collect the reward for all that hard work, all those nutrients we've just unlocked.
So, what's the secret weapon of the small intestine? How is it so good at its job? Well, it all comes down to these things called villi. See, the inside of your intestine isn't smooth at all. It's covered with millions and millions of these tiny finger-like hairs. All together, they create a gigantic surface area. Think of it like a super fluffy, ultra-absorbent carpet, just perfect for soaking up all those valuable nutrients and getting them into the bloodstream.
And this is where the final precision-level breakdown happens. A whole new crew of enzymes, a real specialist team, gets to work. They take those carbs and finish the job, turning them into simple sugars like glucose. They take the fats and break them down into fatty acids and glycerol. And they take those proteins and dismantle them all the way down into their fundamental building blocks, amino acids. These are the final products our body can actually use.
Okay, so the big three: carbs, fats, and proteins. They've been broken down and absorbed. Job done, right? Well, not quite. Our body can't actually use all that great stuff without some essential helpers. The story isn't over yet, because now we have to talk about the unsung heroes of this whole process: vitamins.
So what exactly are vitamins? Well, they're organic compounds that we have to get from our diet because our bodies can't make enough of them on their own. And here's the key thing to remember. They don't give you energy directly, not like carbs do. Think of them more like the spark plugs in an engine. They don't provide the fuel, but without them, none of the important chemical reactions can happen. They are absolutely essential.
And vitamins basically fall into two main categories. First, you've got the fat-soluble ones. These are vitamins A, D, E, and K. Your body can store these guys in your fat tissue for later. But then you have the water-soluble ones, like all the B vitamins and vitamin C. Your body can't store these. It uses what it needs, and then any excess just gets flushed out. And that's why you have to keep topping them up on a regular basis.
Let's zoom in on a really famous one to see why this matters so much: vitamin C. We all know you get it from things like oranges, right? But why is it so critical? Well, history gives us a pretty dramatic answer to that question.
You see, for centuries, sailors on long sea voyages would get this absolutely horrible disease called scurvy. It was awful. Their gums would bleed, teeth would fall out, they'd get incredibly weak, and for the longest time, nobody had a clue why. Until, finally, it was discovered that something as simple as a little bit of citrus fruit could prevent the whole thing. Just an incredible, powerful lesson on how important one single micronutrient can be.
And the other vitamins have their own amazing stories too. I mean, vitamin D is so unique, it can actually act like a hormone in your body. Vitamin B12, or cobalamin, is built around a metal element, cobalt, and you can't find it in any plant sources. And then there's vitamin A, retinol, which is so crucial for your vision that if you don't get enough, it can literally cause night blindness.
So, there you have it. From that one single bite, all the way to trillions of tiny cellular reactions, your body is performing this absolute miracle, non-stop. It is a factory that runs 24/7, turning food, the outside world, into you. So the final question is a pretty simple one, really. Now that you know a little more about how this incredible factory works, what are you going to choose to fuel it with?